Hello fellow modelers. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to paint this 1 to 35th scale Challenger 2 into something like this with acrylic paints and a brush. So, without further ado, let's get started. Before we start painting our model, we first need to prepare a few things, which are a paint dish, your desired acrylic color, and some acrylic thinner. Remember to keep your paint dish clean and removed of all dust. The paint I have chosen today is the MIG's acrylic color, matte black, and we'll be using that to paint the camo. Remember to give the bottle a good shake before you pour it out. Carefully pour your paint into the dish, at the same time counting the number of drops you pour out. It's best to pour a little and use it up before you pour in more. This is because acrylic paints dry up really quickly, and you don't want to have all your paint dry up. Now we'll be adding the thinner. The thinner I'll be using today is MIG's acrylic thinner. Just give it a little shake before you open it and pour your thinner with the ratio of 1 to 2. That means 1 part paint and 2 parts thinner. If you poured in 5 drops of paint like me, then pour in 10 drops of thinner. Simple. After that, mix those two liquids together and you've got yourself your paint solution. The Challenger 2 came from Trumpeter and was a rather easy build. Although the kit was relatively cheap, there were lots of parts that didn't really fit together. I've gone ahead and have already painted the Challenger 2 with NATO green after priming it in gray color. So let's begin the painting. The paint scheme I've chosen comes from the back of the building manual. As you can see, it's not color printed, but I can still understand it. Other companies like Meng design their tanks really well and the manual is detailed and in color. But obviously, those are more expensive. The brush I'll be using is an average brush with the size of 00. Dip the brush into the paint, and the first thing we'll do on the tank is painting the borders of the camo. This outlines the place that we need to paint, so when we fill it in with a larger brush later on, the chance of us painting outside the place we want decreases. You may notice that the paint is translucent and the green color underneath is still visible. Don't worry, I'll tell you what to do in a moment. Just remember not to apply on more paint, and don't make the layer of paint too thick. Also, the paint now looks really glossy and shiny. Don't worry, as the paint will dry off with a matte finish soon. As we wait for the paint to dry, move on to the next area that you want to paint and repeat the same process. And here is the tank with the first layer of paint. The paint is now fully dried up, and it's time for us to apply the second layer of paint. Here we take our same brush and the same mixture and do the same thing we did before again on the place we want to paint. This will make the color less transparent and get the color we want. And here is the result after 2 layers of paint. We are starting to see the color start to pop and become more visible. However, that's still not the result I'm looking for. Here, we are doing the same thing for the third time. Remember to be careful with the edges. And that's basically how you paint a model with acrylic paints and a brush. If you're looking for a more uniform paint job, you can try applying on more layers of paint. But here's a tip. Only paint on the next layer of paint after the layer on the bottom has fully dried. Otherwise, you get a really thick layer of paint and the paint job won't be uniform either. So, in the next video, I will be weathering up this Challenger 2, and that's all I have for this video. Till next time, have a good day.